Hey everyone, welcome to Leopard Farm. Let's rewind to 2024 in Japan. Bear break-ins absolutely exploded that year. Authorities recorded 285 incidents of bears smashing into homes, a jaw-dropping 35% increase over 2023. Imagine you're in a sleepy rural town, sipping your morning coffee, when a 1,100-pound brown bear comes barreling through your kitchen window. It raids the fridge, scarfs down whatever it wants, and leaves you with roughly $115,000 in damage. Shattered glass everywhere, cabinets ripped off the walls, appliances totaled. And it gets crazier. One seasoned hunter found himself just 16 yards from a furious 1,400-pound monster. He turned tail, ran for his life while screaming at the top of his lungs, and later admitted, "I should have seen that thing coming from a mile away. It scared the hell out of me." As these close calls piled up and bears grew bolder than ever, the Japanese government said it. They made a rigorous 3-day hunter safety and bear defense training course mandatory for anyone carrying a firearm in bear country.
Nice shot, dude.
Woo!
Nice shot!
Getting a bear tag these days is no giveaway. You gotta be at least 21, pass a serious physical fitness test, score 85% or better on a live fire proficiency exam, and prove you already have 2 solid seasons of big game hunting under your belt. These stiff requirements aren't just red tape, they strike the right balance, keeping inexperienced trigger-happy newbies out of the woods while still giving skilled, responsible hunters a fair shot at managing populations. It protects the bears and the people who share the mountains with them. Over in Japan, things work a little differently. Their vast forests only open for bear hunting during a short fall window, typically September through November. Every licensed hunter gets exactly 1 tag for either black or brown bear per season. That single tag turns every trip into a chess game. 1 move, 1 chance, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Got him.
Hunting brown bears in 2023 wasn't a free-for-all, far from it. States issued around 1,500, each one coming with a thick stack of non-negotiable rules. If you wanted meat in the freezer and a hide on the wall, you had to treat the regs like gospel. Know exactly where you can and can't hunt, track every closure and reopen the website, and stay on top of daily bag limit changes that can flip overnight. Screw up one detail, and the season's over before it starts. In units where the bear population sits between 700 and 800 animals, the game warden is literally riding along on every single hunt. No exceptions. The rulebook doesn't bend. Maintain the required standoff distance, run only approved ammo, never shoot a sow with cubs, positively ID your bear 100%, read the wind like your life depends on it, because the bears does, and always have an exit plan. This isn't run and gun, it's surgical. The guys who punch tags consistently are the ones who stalk to 60 yards or less, settle the crosshairs, and make 1 perfect shot. That's the difference between going home with a story and going home empty-handed. When you're bear hunting, distance is your first friend. You want to be close enough for a shot, but far enough away that a sudden charge can't turn your day into a horror story. This isn't a sprint. It's a slow, deliberate chess match that demands patience, woodcraft, and a deep respect for an animal that can end things in a heartbeat. Success starts long before you squeeze the trigger. Move like the forest itself, keep every step quiet, and always play the wind. Once you spot your bear, slide into position downwind and melt into thick cover, blowdowns, boulder fields, or dark timber, so he never knows you're there. Shot placement is just important. It's everything. A clean, lethal hit drops a bear in its tracks. A bad one turns a 600-pound animal into a freight train with teeth, and it's coming straight at you. Just last year, 15 hunters across the country. 80% of those attacks happened because the first one was wounded instead of killed. That's not a statistic you want to be part of. Carry bear spray, where you can get to it in half a second. Back it up with a hard-hitting sidearm you practiced with. Pack a serious first aid kit, and never head into bear country without a reliable way to call for help, whether that's a satellite communicator or a phone loaded with Onyx and emergency SOS. Stay dialed in on the regulations too. Seasons, quotas, and closed areas can change overnight. Check your state fish and wildlife website religiously, especially right before you head out. Being prepared and knowing the rules is an extra credit. The difference between a great story and becoming one of those cautionary tales whispered around hunting camps. Do it right, and you'll come home with meat in the freezer, hide on the wall, and every finger and toe you left with. Hello everyone, welcome to the Leopard channel. Across vast stretches of Africa, hordes of monkeys and baboons are wreaking havoc on farmlands, devouring harvests and driving desperate farmers to the edge. With hunters on their trail and locals fiercely guarding their hard-earned yields, this escalating clash grows fiercer by the season. It's a raw tale of grit, showdowns, and a relentless battle to safeguard what's rightfully theirs. As the first light creeps over South Africa's eastern cape, a heavy mist clings to the cornfields around Tabo, wrapping everything in a ghostly hush. Then, without warning, a band of primates storms in, shattering the calm. Sleek vervet monkeys zip through the branches, grabbing ripe produce and vanishing like shadows. But this is no one-off hassle, it's full-on warfare. Armed with smarts that rival our own, these baboons and monkeys plunder crops, swipe supplies from pantries, and even ransack houses throughout the continent, racking up millions in losses for growers every year. Down in Cape Town, they're bold enough to barge into kitchens and flip garbage cans upside down, leaving neighborhoods in total disarray. For Tabo, a third-generation farmer scratching out a living on the African plains, the damage hits hard, wiping out nearly a third of his crop in one brutal season and costing him thousands in lost income. It's a raw, age-old clash fueled by these primates' sharp wits. They share about 94% of our human DNA, and a relentless push of farms and urban sprawl that shrunk their wild spaces. These clever raiders hit with surgical accuracy, ramping up the frustration for locals. Heck, even a seasoned hunter from Montana made the trek to Africa, chasing the thrill of outsmarting such sly opponents. But baboons and vervet monkeys aren't your average targets. Their smarts and tactics make them a real test for any marksman. Around Adu, some guided hunts let you bag one for as low as 20 bucks. But don't be fooled, this is no walk in the park. Armed with rifles, groups stalk quietly through the tall savanna grass, zeroing in only on the pesky invaders and crop thieves that have gotten too bold around farms and villages. They stick to the rules religiously, keeping a solid 164-foot buffer from the troop and picking off just the alpha types to avoid throwing the ecosystem out of whack. In parts of Africa, standard tactics like controlled hunting or simple deterrence just don't cut it for dealing with troublesome primates. That's where relocation steps in as a kinder option, though it's no walk in the park. At the Adu Wildlife Conservancy, teams partner with local growers like Tabo to humanely trap and move baboons and vervet monkeys that wreak havoc on farms. They set up baited traps with fresh fruit to lure the animals in, then transport them far enough away to give everyone some breathing room. Fingers crossed they stay put. It's a compassionate approach, but it's got its hurdles, and folks like Tabo aren't fully convinced it'll hold up over time. So put yourself in Tabo's position. How would you tackle a full-blown primate problem on your land? In South Africa, hunting baboons can ease the pain of ruined crops and lost livestock, but it stirred up a real storm. Groups like Baboon Matters push back hard, warning that it could decimate baboon numbers and throw ecosystems out of whack. And the laws got teeth too. Under rules like the National Environmental Management Act, farmers have to jump through hoops to get approval for drastic steps, or they risk hefty fines. Striking a balance between massive economic hits to people's livelihoods, often running into millions of dollars, and the push for wildlife conservation is no easy feat. Local communities find themselves torn between the harsh realities of putting food on the table